Welcome MMA fans to another episode of Knuckle Game Podcast, where we don't chase headlines, we chase understanding. And today we're talking about what could or maybe should be next for Dustin Gaethje. Now understand me, this is a hypothetical. Nobody's telling you this fight is signed. But could it happen? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Dustin Gaethje, Islam Makhachev. Superfight, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, or Madison Square Garden, New York. Either way, you put those two names on the marquee, and we got ourselves an event. And when you look at the history, Khabib, Gaethje, Islam, and where Dustin is in his career right now, man, there's a story sitting right there waiting for somebody to tell it. So today, this idea, let's play with it. Let's get it. Now, why are we even talking about this? Let me ask y'all. When a fighter has already accomplished almost everything there is to accomplish, what are we still fighting for? Dustin Gaethje is 37 years old, 28 wins, 21 knockouts, former BMF champion, two-time interim lightweight champion, and now finally the undisputed lightweight champion. The thing he spent years chasing, the thing Khabib kept him from getting, the thing Charles Oliveira kept him from getting, Dustin finally got it. And he didn't get it by sneaking through the back door. He beat Paddy Pimblett. Then he stood across from an undefeated Ilia Topuria and stopped him after 4 rounds. At some point, ladies and gentlemen, the resume is the resume. So now the question changes. It's no longer, can Dustin Gaethje become champion? He already answered that. Now I'm asking, how does Dustin Gaethje ride off into the sunset? And how does he want us to remember the ending? And apparently, I'm not the only person thinking about this. His manager, Ali Abdelaziz, recently floated Islam Makhachev as a possible final opponent. Now, nothing is signed, nothing has been announced, and Islam has Ian Machado Gary standing directly in front of him. So understand me, this is a fantasy matchmaking. But sometimes fantasy matchmaking makes too much sense to ignore. So tell me right now, y'all, tell me, if Dustin only fights one more time, who deserves that fight? Put the name in the comments, man, because I've got mine. And it's Islam. Look, don't give me just another fight. Here's what some of y'all are going to disagree with me. Does Dustin owe the lightweight division another title defense? I don't think he does. Could you give him Arman Tsarukyan? Absolutely. Could you give him Charles Oliveira again? Sure. Max Holloway? There's history there. There are plenty of good fights, but I'm not asking for a good fight for Dustin. Dustin Gaethje's entire career has been built on giving us fights that made us stop what we were doing. Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, Tony Ferguson, Max Holloway, Khabib, Charles Oliveira, Ilia Topuria. I mean, the list goes on. How many times has this man got to bleed for us before we let him choose the ending? Man, if this is really the last chapter I want the biggest chapter available. And that's why Islam changes everything, man. Because Islam brings something those other opponents don't. He brings Khabib back into the story. And without Khabib having to fight. Think about it. Justin doesn't get a rematch with Khabib. That door is closed. Khabib retired 29-0 after submitting Justin in the second round at UFC 254. But Islam is connected to that legacy. Same camp, same lineage, same suffocating philosophy of fighting. Different fighter, different weapons, and now a completely different Justin Gaethje. So let me ask you, would beating Islam give Justin even a small piece of redemption for what happened against Khabib? Not erase the loss. You can't rewrite history, but could it close the circle? Because that's where this gets interesting. The ghost of Khabib. Here's the question nobody could avoid during fight week. What did Justin learn from Khabib? October 2020, UFC 254. Gaethje came in as interim lightweight champion. And people believed his wrestling background and his leg kicks might create problems for Khabib. Then the cage door closed. Khabib pressured him, took him down, mounted him, and in the second round, triangle choke, done. And then Khabib retired. That's important because Justin never got another shot at him. There was no, I figured something out, run it back. No second camp, no rematch. That loss became permanent. But 6 years later, Justin isn't the same fighter. And neither is the opponent we're talking about. Islam Makhachev is not Khabib Nurmagomedov 2.0. I know people love making that comparison. But Islam has developed his own game. His striking is different. His timing is different. His submission game has its own personality. His ability to transition between striking and grappling is elite. So this isn't Gaethje versus Khabib 2. No. Don't disrespect Islam like that. This is, can the lessons Gaethje learned from Khabib help him defeat the man who carried that championship lineage forward? That's a much better question. And here's another. Would Khabib cornering Islam make this fight feel even bigger? Because imagine the camera cutting over, Justin standing across the cage, and Khabib in Islam's corner. You don't have to manufacture anything. The visual tells the story. But the story doesn't matter unless Justin can actually win. And that's where things get uncomfortable. Look, man, this is a terrible matchup. Some of you guys would say, this is a terrible matchup. Let's talk fighting. Is Islam Makhachev possibly the worst stylistic opponent Justin Gaethje could choose for his retirement fight? Yeah. That's why I want it. What did y'all think Knuckle Game was going to do? Send the man out with somebody safe? Islam is 28-1. He's riding a 16-fight winning streak. 5 knockouts, 13 submissions. And the scary part isn't just that Islam can take you down. It's that you have to defend everything at the same time. You're worried about the level change, and here comes the left hand. You start respecting the striking, now you're against the cage. You defend the first takedown, and he's already transitioning to the second attack. That's exhausting. And we've already seen the blueprint for how dangerous, relentless grappling pressure can be against Justin Gaethje. Khabib showed us that. Charles Oliveira showed us something too. So why would Justin willingly sign up for that again? Because Gaethje has something Islam hasn't had to deal with very often. Consequences. One mistake standing with Gaethje can cost you the entire fight and your consciousness. And this older version of Gaethje isn't simply walking forward, throwing furniture anymore. He's more patient, more selective, more technical. He still has the violence, but now there's more calculation behind it. And after watching him survive to Poirier's offense and eventually breaking him down, you can't just dismiss Justin because he's 37. So answer this. What is Gaethje's best weapon against Islam? Leg kicks, uppercut, pressure, counter right hand? Or does Justin need to do something completely unexpected? Because I think his biggest opportunity might come from something people aren't talking about. Here's my key to this entire fight. Can Justin make Islam uncomfortable before Islam makes Justin tired? That's the fight. Because Justin cannot spend 15 minutes defending takedowns. He cannot let Islam attach himself to him against the fence and start making deposits into that gas tank. Justin needs Islam thinking early. Kick the legs, attack the body, change the rhythm. Make Islam pay for closing the distance. And more importantly, don't get predictable. Because Islam, his fighting IQ is high. It's too high for Justin to fall into a pattern. Islam will solve it. But there's another side to this. Islam would be fighting a man who knows exactly what this style feels like. Justin has already felt Khabib's pressure. He's already experienced what happens when he makes the wrong decisions. That doesn't mean he can stop Islam, but experience matters. So I want the hardcore fans in the comments on this one. Is Islam actually a harder matchup for Gaethje than Khabib was? Don't tell me who's greater. I'm asking stylistically. Islam's striking is more developed. Khabib's pressure was relentless. Which version of that problem is worse for Justin? Because if Justin solves it, we have to have a completely different conversation about his legacy. But before we get there, there's another reason this fight could become enormous. I mean, this is bigger than a belt. What makes a UFC fight become an event? Not a fight, an event. Khabib versus Conor McGregor wasn't enormous simply because there was a championship belt involved. There was history, there was emotion, there were fan bases, there was a culture. There were people watching who couldn't tell you the difference between an arm bar and an armchair, but they knew Khabib and Conor were fighting. That's when combat sports crossed over. Now, I'm not telling you Gaethje versus Islam automatically does Khabib McGregor numbers. Let's not get crazy. Khabib Conor was a phenomenon. But I'm saying the UFC would have the ingredients to promote Gaethje Islam as something far beyond a normal championship or a normal champion versus champion matchup. You have America's Justin Gaethje, one of the most beloved action fighters of his generation, potentially announcing, "This is my last fight," across from Islam Makhachev. The man carrying the Dagestani championship lineage associated with Khabib and behind Islam, potentially Khabib himself. Now add the history. Khabib beat Justin. Justin never got the rematch. Islam became champion. Islam moved up and became champion at welterweight. Justin finally captured undisputed lightweight gold. Now their paths cross. Tell me that's not a trailer. Tell me you can't hear the music already. And here's the marketing line. Book it. That's it. Book it. You don't need 12 paragraphs. 2 words. Book it. Justin Gaethje final walk. And he picked Islam Makhachev. That would be crazy. Now answer this. How big could that fight actually become? Regular UFC blockbuster? Super fight? Or are you with me? Could the story push it towards the rare territory where casual sport fans start paying attention? Because if Justin somehow wins that, I mean, that would be historically big. If Justin actually beats Islam, all right, here's the question I've been holding. What happens to Justin Gaethje's legacy if his final fight is a victory over Islam Makhachev? Think about the resume. Poirier, Ferguson, Chandler, Khabib, Pinlet, Poirier, then Islam Makhachev at 37 years old, on his way out? Yeah, I'll take one more for the road. Give me Islam. And imagine he lays gloves down afterwards. That's how you leave. In my opinion, that's how you leave. Not because somebody forced you out. Not because you lost 4 straight and everybody around you start having uncomfortable conversations. You walk in against one of the greatest fighters of this generation. You win. You take the microphone and you say, "I'm done. That's it. Good night. Thank you for coming." Brother, that's a movie. That's a movie, man. And there's something poetic about it. Khabib defeated Justin and retired immediately after. Now imagine years later, Justin defeats Islam and Justin retires. You couldn't script that without somebody saying it's too obvious. But here's where I need y'all, man. Would beating Islam make Justin Gaethje one of the greatest lightweights ever? I'm not asking whether he's the GOAT. Slow down. I'm asking, where does that victory put him historically? Top 5? Top 3? Or does it depend on whether Islam still holds the welterweight championship? And here's the dangerous question, man. Would beating Islam mean anything when people debate how a second Khabib fight might have looked? Careful, careful, watch your mouth. MMA math will get you disqualified around here. Islam is not Khabib. Beating Islam doesn't mean Justin would have beaten Khabib. But fans are going to have that conversation anyway, I'm sure. It's just how it goes, man. And that conversation alone would keep this fight alive for years. But let's ask, Is it worth the risk? Now, let me argue against myself right quick. Why should Justin Gaethje risk the perfect ending? He finally got the undisputed championship. He just beat Ilia Topuria. He has nothing left to prove. Why fight a bigger man? Why fight arguably the best pound-for-pound fighter alive? Why take the exact kind of stylistic challenge that could cause you problems or that has caused you problems before? Maybe the smartest move is to walk away right now. That's the other side of this. And I respect it. Because fighters don't owe us permanent damage just because we want another Saturday night. But Justin Gaethje has never built his career around choosing the easiest available option. His nickname is the highlight for a reason. So if he looks at Islam and says, that's the mountain I want to climb before I'm done, I'm watching. I'm tuning in. No question. And apparently his own manager sees the logic. But remember, Islam has a fight first. Ian Machado Gary gets his opportunity at UFC 330. So none of this happens unless the circumstances line up. That's what makes this a hypothetical. But if Islam gets through Gary and Justin still wants more, UFC, don't overthink it. This is the official Knuckle Game take, man. Hold on to the end. So who should Justin Gaethje fight next? For me, it's Islam. Not because it's the easy fight. It's probably the opposite. Not because the rankings demand it. They don't. And not because Justin needs another belt. He's already got one. Make it because careers like Justin Gaethje's deserves an ending worthy of the journey. Khabib beat him. Charles beat him. Max knocked him out. And Justin kept coming. No quitting him. Kept coming. Then at 37 years old, he finally climbed all the way to the top. Come on, man. Now give him the ultimate choice. Justin Gaethje versus Islam Makhachev. And if Justin wins, don't book another fight. Don't ask him what's next. Don't start calling contenders into the cage. Let him put down the gloves, man. Let him look into the camera and let the highlight end on a highlight. Hey, man, I need you guys to comment war in the comments, man. And I need y'all to help me settle this. First, should Justin Gaethje fight Islam Makhachev next? And if so, second, who wins? And don't just type Islam because of the wrestling. Don't just type Justin because you love violence. Tell me how. And here's the big one. If Justin beats Islam in the final fight, where does Justin Gaethje rank among the greatest lightweights of all time? Top 10, top 5, top 3? Make your case. Because I already know somebody underneath your comment is going to disagree with you. And that's what we're here for. If you're new to Knuckle Game Podcast, hit the subscribe button, man. We don't just talk about what happened. We talk about why it happened and sometimes what should happen next. As always, Keep your hands up, your chin tucked. I'm El Banger, and it's Knuckle Game Podcast.